Now, after what felt like some kind of filler, we're finally getting back to some good stuff here on Darkness of the Edge of Town, and I actually really like this episode, so I'll let you know why. First things first, as we always do, I will go ahead and talk about the plot now. So the episode basically starts off with the turtles doing teenager things like skateboarding and all that radical stuff. Although Splinter seems pretty annoyed, and eventually the power goes out. So obviously I think Splinter had a pretty good excuse to tell them, hey, listen, for the first time in a while, I want you guys to go out into town and discover why it's dark and see if there's a way to maybe turn the power back on. As they're exploring around, they actually go a little bit further than Splinter probably wanted them to go, and they discover, you guessed it, the Foot Clan, and they're trying to take this ancient sword. So the turtles are thinking like, well, we gotta stop them from doing it, so they do. They basically fight off the Foot as best as they can, although sadly the Foot end up overtaking them. But I do have to mention that the sequence where they're using their vehicles to battle them is really cool and very much one of the highlights of the episodes that I love. They take this thing called the Sword of Tengu and they go back and with the Foot Clan symbol that they managed to get, they actually show it to Splinter, and Splinter basically tells them that's trouble and tells the turtles not to go back out pretty much because, again, he knows something, but the turtles don't, which we'll learn about later. We then cut to the godlike, the edgy, the McDonald's Shredder Rokusaki. Basically, he finally gets the Sword of Tengu and talks about how it's a really good, powerful thing that he wants. He's also looking for something underwater, so there's a bit of stuff he needs too. And he wants to use that sword to help get it. And you actually get a really cool sequence where he's fighting his own Foot Clan, and he seems pretty badass and actually kind of scary because he's beating up the Foot Clan like it's nothing, even more so than the turtles did. So the turtles decide to go out again and do some more investigating as the power went out once again. And when they go out, Donatello uses the chance to show off one of his new gadgets, which is like a little flying thing. So he goes down, he flies, and as he does, he notices that gun I was mentioning earlier that I was trying to dig something out from the water. And he kind of gets unlucky, and it pushes him down pretty much to where he falls. Although he made it out just fine since he resurfaced from the water. And now the Foot are alerted that they're present, so you get some cool combat with the turtles and the Foot, basically on what is like little pirate ship looking things. So you get a lot of cool set pieces there, and the combat, again, is really good. So I think they're starting to get better with that and not reusing it too much, although that might be a problem later on. Eventually, though, they do get up to where that gun was firing, and they find these weird-looking Foot scientists, and they basically kick them out, and they realize that the gun is messing up and malfunctioning, so now they gotta get out. Although, luckily enough, they're able to get that sword that Shredder had, so now the turtles got a cool little artifact with them. The Foot Clan also managed to get what they're looking for, so they don't seem to be too worried about the sword anyhow. After returning to the lair, they go back to Splinter to show him the sword, and Splinter says that's unlike any metal he has ever seen, and basically puts it in a spot to make sure that's safe, telling the turtles that, it's good that it's not in the wrong hands, and that they need to keep it safe now. We then cut back to Orokusaki, and the doctor, scientist people that were by the gun come to Shredder, and they're like, the extenuated circumstances were not very good. Some karate frog ninja turtles have defeated our operation. So Shredder shows them a picture that he also had of the turtles to prove their existence, and they say, oh yeah, those are the turtles. And he basically tells them, yeah, that's all I need. And they walk out, and good old Hun, such a sweet boy, comes in, grabs the Foot Tech scientist, and most likely, is gonna torture them, similar to what I'm guessing he probably did to Baxter Stockman. Yeah, and that's the episode. I actually really thought the episode was good, and from the early episodes, it's definitely one of my favorite ones, because I love how it shows the sibling interaction between the turtles, and, the fact that they're not just ninjas doing their thing, they're also able to have fun with extreme gear and all that. You get to learn more about Oroku Saki and the Foot Clan and, some of their operations that they're doing. So if I had to give this episode a rating, I would definitely give it a high 8 out of 10. It's a very good episode. The next episode we'll be looking at is The Way of Invisibility, so can't wait to see you all there. Hope you have yourselves a good one, and I'm out. Peace.